Dutton arrived on the island with 51 detainees. He was a figure who was well regarded. He was seen as a strong believer that if you worked hard, you would be able to rehabilitate yourself.
That reformation can change a person. He don't even allow his...
He thought that there was an aura of
prison officers to have a weapon.
Dutton spoke a number of local...
He wanted to prove to everybody that I can do it.
So Dutton arrived on Pulau Senang with 51 detainees. Within that first year, the number of detainees increases.
Dutton was a very unusual prison officer. He was often talked of as if he was a ground-up type of person. His superior described him as a natural leader of men. Dutton, and bearing in mind that he had to develop the island from scratch, he consciously selected people with certain skills whom
These detainees, they're criminals, they are gangsters, they are prone to acts of violence, perhaps murders, and the fact that you were bringing them to an island.
Dutton was there on the ground, mobilizing, moving. He would work as hard as his men, which...
This was a big project. I think Tewang is going to be
The initial few months of the Pulau Senang experiment really see...
It was an amazing thing that they did because they had to tame the...
伊伫咧做调查的时阵，定着甲Dutton做定。不过Dutton干那真输家。
We know from the evidence adduced at trial that Robert somehow endeared himself to Dutton. I mean, he was considered... He was probably somebody who Dutton liked and was going to give a good review. And I suppose when he...
It probably shows a leader who perhaps was overconfident, very overconfident. And even in his conversation with the director of prisons, Major James, he kept reassuring him that nothing's going to happen.
Dutton and his team just stunned everybody. Nobody... He inspired confidence. He was absolutely confident that the majority of the detainees were with him.
He would be there, supervising the work, shouting away, cursing and yelling off. I guess he was the typical example of a slave driver. You either do it or you get...
I've seen him beating up prisoners very mercilessly and to the point of sometimes even torturing them. I guess
he was inspecting the jetty and found it was unfinished. He demanded the carpenters return to finish their work, but they refused and had the carpenters brought to him. Mr. Dutton demanded they complete their work, but they remained silent. So Mr. Dutton told a clerk to prepare the charge sheets to send them all back to Changi. The men were marched down the jetty and put into a prison boat.
When Dutton asked them to continue working,
我哋啲教Dutton講教樓裏邊我能安排喺睇。
And what was Dutton's reaction?
呢度袋兜潮啦，伊講點解嚟？伊一管就使生意接老官做一個禮拜哦。啊，Dutton這個人又是未驚別人。
It's interesting that when Superintendent Dutton was...
he was quite well known amongst the prisoners for being brutal and sadistic.
the pace was fast. There were reports about better. In some cases, they were asked to work beyond regular hours because a project was deemed Although Dutton believed that he was working side by side with these detainees in a shared and common project, the power that he wielded frustration.
Carried to a certain place where there was a project going on. It could be a fish pond, it could be a garden, it could be just some decorative walls he was going to build.
Dutton worked everybody late into the night, sometimes overnight, to deal with various construction works. He truly believed, maybe foolishly,
They set the place ablaze, and Mr. Dutton had no choice. And the parang were used against him.
he
Deadly.
his body.
So after Dutton fell,
Another